Hi everybody, welcome to this Wall Street News. Federal Reserve Governor Michelle Bowman said on Wednesday, quote, "My estimate of the neutral policy rate is much higher than it was before the pandemic," unquote. U.S. government sold 20-year bonds at 4.68%, 3 basis points higher than WI level at the time of the auction. 10-year Treasury yield rises to 4.41%. For the U.S. stocks, S&P 500 were almost flat on Wednesday. The Nasdaq Composite lost 0.11%. Nvidia reported after the bell on Wednesday that its quarterly revenue jumped 94% from a year ago. Federal Reserve Governor Michelle Bowman delivered a speech on Wednesday saying, quote, "My estimate of the neutral policy rate is much higher than it was before the pandemic, and therefore we may be closer to a neutral policy stance than we currently think. I would prefer to proceed cautiously in bringing the policy rate down to better assess how far we are from the endpoint," unquote. U.S. government sold $16 billion 20-year bonds at 4.68%, 3 basis points higher than WI level at the time of the auction, 4.65%. So you can find poor demand for 20-year bonds. 10-year Treasury yield had risen as Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said, quote, "The economy is not sending any signals that we need to be in a hurry to lower rate," unquote. The yield moved up further as the headline retail sales increased 0.4% in October, but it soon decreased as industrial production fell 0.3% and sales, excluding auto dealers, food and beverage stores, gasoline stations, and building materials dealers, decreased 0.1% in October. 10-year Treasury yield fell further on rising geopolitical tensions between Russia and Ukraine, but it rebounds to 4.41% as holiday season is around the corner, and GDP now estimates U.S. real GDP growth at 2.6% for the current quarter. For the U.S. stocks, S&P 500 were almost flat on Wednesday before Nvidia released its earnings. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 0.32%, while the tech-heavy Nasdaq fell 0.11%. Shares of Nvidia fell about 2% in extended trading on Wednesday after the company reported $35 billion of revenue, up 94% on a yearly basis, and 81 cents adjusted EPS, up 103% over the past 12 months, so the company beat on the top and bottom lines. When it comes to the guidance for the current quarter, the company expected its quarterly revenue to be $37.5 billion, plus or minus 2% higher than expectations. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang said during the conference call, quote, "What's going to happen over the course of next X number of years, and let's assume that over the course of 4 years. The world's data centers could be modernized as we grow into IT. IT continues to grow about 20%, 30% a year. Let's say by 2030, the world's data centers for computing is a couple of $1 trillion. We have to grow into that. We have to modernize the data center from coding to machine learning. That's number one. The second part of it is generative AI. We're now producing a new type of capability the world never known, a new market segment that the world never had. If you look at OpenAI, it didn't replace anything. It's something that's completely brand new, unquote. Okay, this is the end of today's news. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.